We are here to talk some football. First of all, well, no, let's do my thing first. It's more breaking news. So today, it was finally revealed to us that Aaron Rodgers will no longer be the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. What do you want? Do you want me to go first? I feel like I should.
Sure, because you're not going to like what I have to say, so go ahead.
I've gone back and forth between bummed and excited all day.
You should be excited.
I am excited. I lean more excited, but I am bummed,
Because I kind of told you before, not to interrupt you, but, like, it's way funner, like, when you're building towards something than when, like, the expectation every freaking year is to win a Super Bowl. It just is. Like, I already know this season coming up for me is going to be a disappointment for that reason. So.
Yes, Super Bowl or bust seasons suck.
They suck.
And I fully embrace no expectations.
Yep.
And just to have fun, watch my team. But I don't have much, to say. But I am bummed. I mean, it is the end of an era. Anytime you turn the page, it's not fun. But I'm excited. Let's clear some money off the books. Let's get some capital. What capital we can get. The right time to do this was last year. I felt like I argued 2 years ago. Last year we would have got a haul. This year it feels like we're barely going to get anything.
Yeah, I agree.
So,
I agree.
Just it was time. It was time to turn the page. But leading up to it, it was like cold feet. You're like, I don't know if I want this, and then I always like, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah, I could tell by the conversations we were having that, like, deep down, your subconscious was like, I really don't want him to go. Like, I'm gonna miss him, and I get it. Like you said, I mean, it's been
some of that was like just acting, and there was some truth. I don't want him to go. I do not want him to go to the Jets. If he's going to go, which he is at this point, I would much rather him go somewhere else. I think the Jets are a terrible destination for him.
I think it's a terrible destination for anyone.
Exactly.
Sure.
And then, so your comments the other day kept pissing me off because you kept saying I was in denial, which I'm not in denial. You just know that pisses me off.
It's fun to troll every once in a while. Give me a break.
All right. So what are your thoughts? You said I'm not gonna like it.
Well, I mean, I just think Aaron Rodgers is the most pretentious fucking douchebag in the world. But from a football perspective, I totally agree with you. Last year was the year to do it. I don't even know if you get a first now. Maybe a conditional first. They go to.
I don't see how we can't get a first. How we can't squeeze a first out of him.
Well, I mean, it's kind of one of those situations. Wentz did it. Obviously, not the same situation because it's not the same caliber of player. But, like, once he picks a destination, basically, and is like, I only want to go here, like, you lose a little bit of leverage.
Well, see, that's the thing. I don't think it's where he necessarily the only place he wants to go. I think he would rather go elsewhere. It's the only place that's really courting him.
Yeah, fair. I think it makes the Jets exciting. I don't think it makes them a Super Bowl team. I think it makes them a Super Bowl contender, sure. They're the type of franchise like the Browns where I don't even think they give a shit if they win the Super Bowl. They just want to be relevant again. So I get it from that perspective. I think the my boy who's a Packers fan too gave a really, I mean, let's say they get these draft picks. Let's say they do get a first. You now have 2 firsts, and Lamar, you were just paying Rodgers, or at least the same. Would you take Lamar?
I would welcome Lamar with open arms.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily something that I think would happen.
I mean, some really other things would have to happen. He'd have to let go of this idea of a fully guaranteed contract. And if he did, I would take him with open arms.
Yeah. But I mean, I think the Packers should embrace it. I think, even when you do have to pay Love, you're not really going to have to pay him much. I do think that he has the skill set to be at least a middle-of-the-road quarterback. And I think you guys are going to be good. I think that division is getting better, which is scary. I think the Bears got a lot better. I think the Lions are going to be really good.
Well, the Bears could only go in one direction, and that was up.
Of course. They're just going to be feisty, though.
Yeah.
I think that's that turned into a pretty decent division. Overall, I think it's just really melodramatic. I think it's just a name at this point. I mean, Aaron Rodgers is going to turn 40 this year. Every other quarterback in the history of the NFL outside of Tom Brady has fell off a cliff at that. I don't think he's going to be that good anymore. I really don't. That's why I agree with you. You should have got rid of him last year off an MVP season. Easily would have got 2. I think, and somebody said this, and I don't disagree, the only reason he's not going to retire the same year as Tom Brady and have to go into the Hall of Fame.
That was the one I was watching. I was watching his whole segment on McAfee. That was the one part of his whole segment on McAfee I was like, bullshit. He was like, I was 90% close to retiring. I was like, bullshit. No, you weren't.
And listen, I totally get not needing the money. And sure, ultimately, is there a huge difference, in what you can do in life between having, $300 million and $350 million? But, dude, you're not leaving $50 million on the table. You go make that.
Fully guaranteed. Fully guaranteed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He could go run into whoever you play week 1, just run into him head first and sit out the rest of the year and make this money. He's playing this year. I do think he retires at the end of the year, though. 100%.
I mean, probably. We'll see. I want to see how the Jets handle these next couple days. They already brought in Lazard. If they start bringing in these guys who are on his wish list or whatever, maybe it is more than 1 year.
I mean, it definitely could be. I think he's going to see how a fucking poverty franchise is ran. I don't care that Joe Douglas is there, who's not that bad. I don't think Salah's that great of a coach. I don't think he's a bad coach, but I think he's going to go, damn, I actually had it pretty good in Green Bay, and the grass isn't always greener on the other side. I'm fucking out of here. That's what I think he's going to do.
I think he knows that anyway, but
I don't think the Jets win the division still. No. I think Miami and the Bills are probably still better and probably slightly better coached. I don't even think he's the best quarterback in his division right now, which is why the Jets kind of confused me from the beginning. It was it's not like you're going to the Niners.
Yeah, this is not Brady to the Bucs. That Bucs roster was. We were like, man, if they just had a quarterback, they'd be pretty good.
And they weren't playing anybody. The division has been pretty shitty for a long time. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. My whole point is, I just don't. I get why it's a big deal. It's the offseason. It's Aaron Rodgers. I mean, he's a top whatever quarterback ever, so it's going to be a new. But ultimately, when it comes down to play on the field, I just don't think this is that big of a deal. I really don't. I get why it is for Packers fans and the Packers, and I get why it is for the Jets. But as just a football fan who's impartial to both those teams, I really don't give a shit.
This does not change the NFL landscape that much.
No, I don't. I don't think it changes the NFL landscape that much at all.
It's like I said, it's not like when Brady left. That shook up the NFL landscape. This goes from the Packers were an 8-9 team last year. Do they win 8 games this year? Probably not.
I do.
They could. They could.
I think they do.
But I think the Packers remain the same, and the Jets get an nth degree better.
This is my thing. I don't think it'll happen. I am, when the season comes around, I am going to pick the Jets to make the playoffs. I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't make the playoffs.
Oh, I wouldn't either. Have you seen the AFC lately?
That's my point. I wouldn't be at all. Especially if Lamar, if he stays with the Ravens and all this shit. I wouldn't be surprised if it's, these other teams that make the wild. Because I don't think they're going to win the division. I wouldn't be surprised they came in third in the division.
No.
So, yeah.
Now, I will say this. We're both probably going to have them as a wild card, depending on how the offseason goes. Do you like them more than Denver?
Yes.
Do you?
I think Denver just made some really bad signings. They had to get rid of some of their good young players. Judy looks like he's on his way out. I'm pretty sure. Did they lose Cortland Sutton?
I don't think so yet, but they're shopping him around.
They lost Bradley Chubb last year. I mean, I don't know if Russ can be fixed. Not even from a skill standpoint. I just don't think players are ready to necessarily, like, it sounds corny, but it's true in football, like, go to war for Russell Wilson. I think Sean Payton at this point in his career, and when I say overrated, that doesn't mean bad. It just means you're you're probably a little higher on people's list than you probably actually are. I think he's probably a little overrated at this point in his career. He played with Drew Brees in a dome for his whole career, and you can put that the other way. Maybe he made Drew Brees what he was, but, like, played in a pretty bad division for most of his career. I think he's probably a little overinflated, especially after taking a year off. He just made some really shitty, expensive signings in free agency, and in my opinion, that's just
the McGlinchey one. Look, he's a solid starter. A solid starter, not even a solid tackle. He's just a veteran starter, and I think they overpaid for him. He's fine. He's fine.
Yeah. I do think that they're better than Denver. But Miami's going to be a playoff team, unless Tua,
that's a big.
You never know with injuries.
Yeah, that's a big question.
But they're going to make the playoffs. So it's going to be, it's going to be Miami.
I like the Jets more than the Chargers.
Maybe the Jets. Yeah, I think they're maybe about the same. They're going to lose some players too, of course. But I think I don't like Staley.
I don't either. That's why.
I think they're a fringe playoff team, probably a playoff team, but they're at best the 6th seed in my opinion. Yeah. Because I think Miami's better than them, and Miami's going to be the 5th seed. So
Miami's definitely better on paper. It all comes down to if Tua can stay healthy.
Of course. So we'll see.
So, those are our thoughts. Again, I've experienced the full range of emotions today. Not that I've been crying or anything. It's gone back and forth from I'm really excited about, the future and what we can do in the future to end of an era. I'm a little bummed.
Yeah, no, I totally get it. And the Packers will be fine. You guys will be fine. So it's one of those things where you have to just make weird signings when you're in a Super Bowl window. So you'll reach for players and things like that. Now I think you guys can really draft to build a roster that is going to be good for the long haul, as opposed to we need to win right this second. That's always the case, especially if you're a big market or they're not a big market team, but they're a big fan base type deal. But you guys are going to be fine. I think you're going to have one of your funnest seasons ever this year. I'm not kidding. I really do.
I love football. I love the Packers. So I'm going to enjoy it either. I say enjoy. I had a buddy of mine say, my friend Chaz said, because I said how excited I was. He was like, not if they fall off a cliff. I'm like, I don't think they will, but sure, that's definitely a possibility.
Listen, Gutekunst he's a good GM. You'll be okay.
I want to see what we do once Rodgers is off the books, because that's going to free up about $15 million in just cap room. Obviously, we're going to take a hit in dead cap wise, but that's not on the books. I think you're the Eagles guy. I think C.J. Gardner-Johnson's still available. I'd like to sign him, get some experience at our safety position.
Yeah.
What else?
I think they're going to sign him now that Slade's gone.
Yeah, I wanted to bring that up to you. Because I thought Slay, I'm surprised no one wanted to trade for him.
This is the funny thing. Isn't it so funny how NFL fans can, just talk themselves into anything? Once it happens, you can always, spin zone it into, no, this is a good thing. The secondary's worse now, but he was a $17.5 million cap hit this year, and he's 32. He is declining. Not that he's still not a really good player. He's still very good. He's going to
I didn't know he was that old.
Another team. He's 32 years old.
Yeah, that's old.
That's not good for a cornerback. You can get away with that on the line. You can get away with that if you're a linebacker, or even a safety in a lot of cases. But listen, man, when you're covering number one receivers, it's just.
I want dudes who are between 21 and 29 years old playing corner.
100%. And that's what, Bradbury is. Listen, he's still a little older than I'd like, but he's 29. We just got him on a really cheap deal comparatively to what I thought he was going to get on the market. Only $22 million guaranteed over 3 years. They're going to draft it. I think they really want Christian Gonzalez at 10. And if they can
very doable.
Johnson out, Yeah, I think if they can bring back Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, I think they'll have a formidable defense. The defense isn't going to be great, but I think the offense is going to be fantastic, which I think is good. I mean,
they brought back Jason Kelce, which is huge.
Yeah, they're bringing back everybody. The only person they're going to lose is the right guard, and they're going to put Cam Jurgens there, who just redshirted. He's a great freak athlete, lineman. I think he might be better. I think he has a chance to be better than Seumalo at right tackle. That was probably our worst offensive starter, even though he's a good player. I'm excited for the offense. I think they're going to ball out.
How are you doing after the Super Bowl? We haven't spoken. Well, we've spoken. We have not podcasted since the Super Bowl.
It's kind of one of those pills you just have to swallow. It didn't hurt that we lost. It hurt that we had it. You know what I'm saying? Like, they had it, and just bullshit at the end of the game. And listen, I don't like giving excuses, so I won't talk about the field and all that shit. That fucking penalty at the end of the game was bullshit. They did not lose because of that, but I wanted Jalen to have a chance to go score. Like, can we turn this into maybe the best Super Bowl of all time? Like, why you haven't called one hold on offense or defense all game, and it ended the Super Bowl. They ran out the clock and kicked the field. It was just lame. I just thought it was lame. I get it.
Hate it at that moment.
Exactly. Technically, it was a penalty, but it wasn't consistent with how you called the game. So I just thought it was lame. It was just heartbreaking at the end of the game, really. Like, I don't blame it on that. What it did do, like, I was still up to that point, deep down, like, I'm not skeptical at all of Jalen Hurts anymore. I do think he can be a top 6, 7 quarterback in the league. I think a lot of people have him above that now. I don't necessarily yet because I need to see him do it again. But if anybody can do it, I don't know too many people that are just more dedicated to being good at playing quarterback than him. Serious all the time. I think the team will follow behind him really well. I mean, Jason Kelce literally said, "I'm coming back because Jalen's our quarterback." So I think the future's bright. We have 2 first-round picks this year to fill. So that's what I didn't get. They're like, "Oh, you're losing all these players." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, that's what happens when you have a loaded roster and you go to the Super Bowl. Like, players are going to leave. Howie set him up to replace him. If he has a good draft, the Eagles are going to be fine." So Hargrave loss hurt because we are losing some D tackles.
Yeah, but isn't he older? Isn't he also one of those?
He's 30.
Older? Yeah.
He's 30 years old, and he just got $21 million a year. I mean, the Eagles weren't going to pay that. I mean, God bless him. He's a great player still.
Who paid him?
I think Niners, which isn't good because right now, I mean, Dallas and Niners, I would say, would be the only genuine competition in the NFC right now. Of course, there can be, the Lions might be good. The fucking, you never know. The Seahawks might be pretty good if Geno plays really well again and they get another good draft under their belt.
I like the moves the Seahawks have made.
Me too. I mean, Schneider really kind of came back because he had some bad drafts in there for a couple of years. Last year was ridiculous. I mean, he hit on everyone. I
took him to the woodshed this time last year when they traded Russell Wilson. And boy, have I been wrong. Boy, have I been wrong.
Shane, I was pounding the table for fucking Howie Roseman to trade for him. Probably my worst take ever. Ever. Probably my worst take ever because not only has he not been good, but I just fucking hate that guy. He sucks as a person. He's just the fakest, caricature of what he thinks a quarterback should be ever. It's like, dude, we can all tell that you're just not being yourself. Like, what are you doing? I don't like Russell Wilson personally at all. I think he's the lamest dude in the entire league. So, besides Aaron Rodgers,
I was just thinking because you said earlier today that you hate Aaron Rodgers, and I don't remember if I said it to you. You go through a phase every 2 to 3 years where there's I hate this guy the most, then I hate this guy the most.
It's fluid. I mean, listen, I love good quarterbacks. Like, there's not really too many good quarterbacks that I don't like because I like watching them, and they're what makes the NFL good. I mean, if you turn on the XFL, it's why the XFL isn't that good. The quarterbacks suck. So I appreciate it.
How dare you speak ill of the XFL?
Has been pretty good though. I've been watching some games.
I haven't watched since week 1.
I've been watching some games. I don't really know who's playing and who's good and who's not, but it is legit football. When you turn it on, it doesn't look like the those what was it, the AAF?
The AAF was awful. That was horrible football.
It was very, very bad. And I remember when that happened, I was like, damn, dude, they're really not going to be able to have a feeder league here because This is terrible football. This was like high school football out here. Like,
even the XFL, when Oliver Luck was the commissioner.
The XFL?
In 2020, before COVID happened, that was an entertaining league. You had season tickets, I think, to the Defenders.
Yeah. So, huh?
We cut out there. I was just saying the XFL in 2020, before COVID happened, was very entertaining.
No, it totally was, and I think it's entertaining now. I like the team names. I like the uniforms are cool. There's actually people at the games, which is cool. Like, it's cool. Like, you know what I mean? And if I think the fact that the NFL didn't really have like a legit feeder league was kind of crazy to me, because that's a sport where you can have like a feeder league and players can legit go to the NFL and be good players. Like, I don't feel like the D League and the NBA, like, none of those guys are really ever going to go be like all-star level starters. But like, I do think some XFL, like, that's how football kind of works. Sometimes it takes a couple years for players out of college to come into their own. Like, we'll see. I think it's going to be really cool.
As long as that league knows it's never going to compete, like, as long as it knows what it is.
They should work with the NFL.
Yeah.
I think that's how they should look at it. Obviously, they're two separate businesses, so they won't. Like, I get it. They're both trying to, like, take up a piece of the market share, but, like, that's how they should look at it. Like, it should be like a JV NFL. And if you look at it like that and don't take yourself too seriously, like, it's not the USFL from, like, the 80s where, like,
no, and that was an entertaining league. Like, a lot of stars in the NFL came from the USFL.
Hall of Famers, like
Jim Kelly, Reggie White.
100 players all ever. Steve Young, Reggie White, Thurman Thomas. Hall of Famers, like, no joke. So, I like it. And, yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the Eagles this year. They got a much harder schedule, and it's going to be cool. The free agent class has been pretty underwhelming to me. Yes. I haven't really seen any, like, super cool signings. I saw the Cowboys got Gilmore yesterday. I thought it was a good signing as a number 2. Deron Payne got a massive contract that I don't think he deserves from the Skins. I can tell you, I think Darren Waller to the Giants was a really good pickup. You know, they really needed somebody to work the middle of the field.
Didn't give up anything for him, a third-round pick.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he's not the top, like, 3 tight end that I thought he was, but, I mean, he has that ceiling. So, like, he'll probably have games that he really does well for them. I don't know. This wasn't really a great free agent class outside of, like, Lamar Jackson and
all the guys were basically retained. I mean, I just think of that 2018 class. Like, Jair Alexander was locked up a year ago, coming up here. Everyone else has basically been retained or hasn't panned out. Josh Allen got paid a couple of years ago. We knew Lamar Jackson probably wasn't going to hit the open market, which he's not, although he kind of is at the same time.
That's what I want to talk about, actually.
Go ahead,
That's probably the last thing we should talk about.
That and Daniel Jones.
Joke. We don't have to talk about that. Joke. That made me happier than anything this offseason, because I know that the Giants aren't going to be a legit threat.
No.
Period. Leave it alone. It's going to be the Eagles and the Cowboys, like it always fucking is, like it has been for forever. This is what I will say, and I want to preface it because I do think Lamar Jackson is a really good player, and I do think he's a good guy that is a good face for a franchise. He doesn't get in trouble. He's not going to, like, fuck with your franchise, and I do think he's a very dynamic player that can win you a lot of games. He's out of his fucking mind.
Yes.
He's out of his mind, okay? You haven't done anything yet, bud. Stop giving me your regular season record. That's great. That's great for a really shitty franchise that's never relevant. That's not the Ravens, dude. They don't give a shit that you won a bunch of regular season games when you're 1-3 in the playoffs and you missed 10 games the last 2 years. You're not getting a fully guaranteed contract, and if you do, it's going to be for a shitty team where you still don't have weapons, which you've been bitching about. And he should be, by the way. They haven't put a great, offensive skill players around him, so I'm not saying that he should, but it's just, dude, you're out of your fucking mind. Like, you're out of your mind, and I cannot stand we talked about this, the NFL media, or just sports media in general, is a fucking joke, especially about this. I think it highlights it so well, because they can't make first of all, collusion. How is it collusion because somebody isn't paying you? That happens all the time.
So we disagreed on this a couple days ago. It's not that they're not colluding against Lamar specifically. I could see a scenario where the owners are drawing a line in the sand that we are not going to make guaranteed contracts a thing going forward.
And this is why I would disagree. And that's a fair argument. Joe Burrow would get one. Pat Mahomes would get one. I agree. That's probably it. That's probably it, dude. That's probably like, you're not them, Lamar. You're not them. You went to a great franchise, and you haven't done what Joe Burrow has done at a dog shit franchise. Pat Mahomes went to a small market team. Granted, that's a great coach, but he's a two-time MVP, two-time Super Bowl winner. Like, you're not in the same ballpark as those guys, dude. I'm sorry. You still don't have when it's 3rd and 8, I don't trust Lamar still. Sorry. Like, shoot me. Like, you know what I mean? Everybody, oh, well, he's this, he's that. Like, listen, he's great when it's the second quarter and all that shit. He's not great at coming from behind because he's not a great thrower. Okay, he's not. And
he leaves a lot to be desired throwing the ball.
People that don't know ball will show you like a fucking clip of him throwing like a laser on a post or something. And I'm like, dude, when people say somebody can't throw, it's not that they can't hit passes. It's that situationally, when they know you're going to pass and it's a tight window, can you make the throw? Nobody said Lamar can't throw a 50-yard bomb. He has a laser. Of course he can. So I think, and on top of all that, yeah, maybe he could get more money than the Ravens offered him if he had a fucking agent. Can you imagine? Let me paint you a scenario real quick. If you're the Atlanta Falcons and you're like, yeah, like, sure, like, okay, we're at least going to turn these rocks over and see if this makes sense. And you're going to call him to negotiate a 9-figure deal, and his fucking mom picks up. Give me a break, dude. Give me a break. That's Bush League. Hire an agent. Okay, don't give me Bobby Wagner did this and dude, it was their 3rd contracts. They're way older than you. They're way smarter. They knew the league, and it's not a record-breaking contract. Like, it's not the same. It's a joke, dude. And
you're so much better off the cuff than I am. It's incredible.
They basically leaked this contract where it was $133 million guaranteed. I think it was $170 if he didn't get injured, and $200 million guaranteed if he didn't get injured. And they, like, I don't know. And I guess it's not technically actually guaranteed and everything, but like, I don't know. Like, I think he could get more than he's being offered right now if he had an agent and he just paid him $3 million off the contract or something. I just think he's being ridiculous. I think the fact that he's not talking and he's not like, I don't know, man. I just think it's a big joke. And obviously all the NFL media who have no fucking repercussions of it are like, you just got to pay him. No, they don't. The Ravens won 2 Super Bowls without him. No, they don't have to do that. Oh, they put him on the franchise tag. Go negotiate with somebody else. Nobody else is giving you what you want either. It's just been such a joke. And of course, the NFL media, to their fault, always has to side with the player. It's like, dude, this is a business.
They hate, as John Middlecoff says, the media hates business.
Of course. And dude, John Middlecoff shit on him too. He's like, dude, Lamar's a good player. He's not the best player in the league. And I knew this bubble was going to pop of, oh, the 7th best player at the position every time they're up gets a record-breaking. Dude, you can't do that forever.
No.
Eventually, you're going to hit a ceiling where it's like, we can't do that. And unfortunately, it landed on Lamar. Sorry, Lamar, you're not getting this contract, dude. You should probably sign for $160 million guaranteed, play really well for 4 years, and you'll cash out next time. It's. I'm sorry, I just ranted my ass off, but that shit has been pissing me off because, of course, everybody's shitting on the Ravens. I'm like, dude, the Ravens did the smartest thing. He's missing a bunch of fucking games. He didn't play in the playoff game where I've seen multiple articles where they were like, yeah, the Ravens thought he was healthy enough to play and he didn't even show up to the game. So you're not getting that, dude. You're not. Sorry. So that's just how I feel about it.
I'm sick of just – there was a stretch there, not so much lately, but last week specifically, where just they kept what's holding the Ravens back from paying him and all. And I'm like, look, there's not some conspiracy against Lamar.
No. They have to do what's smart for the team. They have to compete in the division.
If I was the general manager of the Ravens, or really any team, and I had Lamar Jackson, I would not hesitate to offer him $200 million over 4 or 5 years, whatever that equates to.
Yeah.
Or 250 over 5. I think that's $50 million a year on paper. But it's not going to be fully guaranteed. If you think you're getting a fully guaranteed deal, fine. Go hit the market and see.
Yeah, and you're not going to get it. And it's just, dude.
And by the way, no one believes that these teams aren't going to talk to Lamar Jackson. That was such horseshit.
Another thing Middlecoff said,
yes.
He's like, dude, why would they come at, like, they're going to lose their leverage if they come out and, like,
yes.
like, we definitely, like, no, dude. They're going to keep it on the cuff and see if they can get them for the best deal possible for the team, which is what you're supposed to do, dude. You're not Pat Mahomes, dude. You don't get a blank check.
Yeah.
You're not. Like, and then I see all the media, oh, well, when Joe Burrow's up, he's going to get – he's not Joe Burrow. Sorry, he's not Joe Burrow. Oh, I saw a bunch of dudes like fucking Ryan Clark and RG3. You think the Panthers would do this, blah, blah, blah. By the way, we should talk about that right after this before I get home. Dude, when you pay a quarterback this much money, you know this, but other people don't, you need cheap players.
Yes.
So if you're trading your first two, how are you supposed to build a team? Lamar and a bunch of third-round picks? Like, you're going to be dog shit. So, I don't know, man. It's just been so lame. The Panthers got fleeced, by the way.
Oh, yeah, we didn't talk about that.
The Panthers got fleeced.
Yeah, when the details came out, that happened, last Friday? When the details came out, I saw and I was like, okay, we knew it would take 2 firsts. Okay, a second in 2025, whatever. And then, it was a second this year, and I was like, whatever. And then I saw DJ Moore. It was like the last part of the bullet points. I was like, wait, what? You give up a bona fide receiver?
Ryan Poles robbed them, dude. That DJ Moore on top of the 2 1s and 2 2s was like, like masterclass GM, dude. And like, I don't care. Everyone's like, oh, if you, like, dude, we've seen how this works, dude. Like, you're not gonna, like, I don't know, man. Like, Pat Mahomes, I think, is the only player that can really take you on a playoff run without a good roster. Like, we keep seeing
He just did it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, no one else can do that. Like, I don't even think Joe Burrow is going to, like, if he loses all these players, which they just lost a bunch, and they lose T. Higgins, which is looking like it's going to happen, they're not going to do what they've been doing.
It'll be a transition for a couple years.
So, it's just like, dude, so, all right, let's say you get C.J. Stroud. I hope they don't pick Bryce Young, by the way. You know how I feel about that. Let's say they get C.J. Stroud. Who the fuck is he throwing to? Who's playing on the team? Exactly. I don't know. Dude, I couldn't tell you too many players on their roster right now. I know they got Brian Burns, Jeremy Chin.
And I was going to bring this up. This is such a shame because I thought the Panthers were an ascending team. I like the way their offensive line is looking right now.
Agreed.
They have pieces defensively. You just said Brian Burns, Jeremy Chin. They have dudes defensively. They had DJ Moore. They just had a great run game, even without Christian McCaffrey. I was like, this team, I think, is ascending. And I thought they got the coach with Frank Reich. They just needed the quarterback. And then you go and you trade your best pass catcher and a receiver room, which really wasn't that great to begin with, outside of DJ Moore. And now he's out of the equation. It's really not great now. And now you lost your best pass catcher. You're like, well, we can draft one in the second round, which they have 2 second-round picks. Okay, fine. This isn't a great receiver class.
No! Dude, they're cooked. Dude, I would have never done
I'm not going to go that far to say they're cooked. They went from a team I thought could be a dark horse playoff team this year to they're probably not going to make it. Now, in the future, if Stroud or whoever turns out to be a stud, I'm not going to change my opinion. I still think they're an ascending team. Yeah.
I don't think that – dude, okay, let's say it's an Andrew Luck draft, a Trevor Lawrence draft, a Peyton Manning draft, where you're going to get a guy that there's a 90% chance this guy's going to be a top 10 quarterback. 90, almost guaranteed. Sure. They don't even know who they're picking. Well, they might know, but I'm saying the media doesn't know.
Does anyone believe that they're really going to trade back? You don't give up the house just to trade back.
No,
I refuse to believe that.
Dude, and they called it this is an owner move. John Middlecoff was saying this too. I get a lot of my takes from him because I agree with him on almost everything. This is an owner move. Tepper bought the team in fucking cash, and he's a fucking stock guy. He's not some slow, meticulous businessman. He's a fast money, like, I'm going to wheel and deal. And, like, I just think he swung for the fences, dude, and I would be surprised if they even get a single off this.
I think who out there was offering 2 firsts and a bona fide starter?
Dude, I think it was one of those things what the Cardinals did with Kyler Murray, where it was like, dude, you're negotiating against yourself. And I think the Giants just did it with Daniel Jones. It's like, dude, if he's not going to get $40 million per year on the market, you don't have to pay him that.
Who was going to pay Daniel Jones that money?
So what? Like, why? Like, you do what the Ravens did. It's like, all right, if somebody offers you X amount, we'll match it. Like, but if not, dude, you're getting what I offered you right now, and you're going to fucking like it, period. Or you're going to play on the tag. Like,
the Panthers also want to pull this, well, if we like more guys, we're open to trading back. And I'm like, then why trade to 1? If you like 3 guys, go up to 3.
Yes. Where it's the Cardinals and they're not drafting a quarterback.
Exactly.
Like, you probably could have gave them 2 1s and that's it and got that spot. Straight up.
This whole thing has kind of been a mess. And I was all for the Panthers being aggressive. Yeah, go get your guy if you believe in him. And then I thought they gave up too much. DJ Moore, I feel like you could have made this trade without DJ Moore. And even then, I'd be like, if the if the Bears were like, we want a player, I'd be like, nope, you're getting 3 1s. You're getting 9, next year's 1, and the year after that's 1. Because I like this roster. I believe we're heading in the right direction. I'm not giving up one of our key players going forward.
I agree, and I think now that, the Bears, listen, is it the best receiving corps in the league? No, but they got 3 legit receivers.
DJ Moore's a proven 1. And now, I don't want to sit here and say that the excuses are up for Justin Fields, because I still don't think he has the best situation.
Dude, he has Cole Kmet, Darnell Mooney, DJ Moore, Chase Claypool. That's formidable as hell.
Sucks,
and I'm saying, dude, he doesn't have to come out and be an all-pro, but, like, dude, you can't have 2,200 passing yards this year. Like, basically, you're going to see if he's the guy or not. He doesn't have to be an all-pro or even a Pro Bowler this year, but, like, you're going to see, do you have the chops to be a passer in this league? I think he does. I've always liked Justin Fields. I would have picked him second in that draft.
I think he does, too. I got to see it. I'm not going to sit here and say, I believe in this guy this year, and he's the Bears guy for the next 15 years. Right now, I still say no, but I believe in him.
Yeah, so I don't know, man. I hated that trade for the Panthers, and you never know, dude. If they draft C.J. Stroud and he's fucking, he's Joe. But like I said, I think his comp is Joe Burrow. He's athletic enough to make moves with his legs, but he's really a pocket passer. He has a really pretty ball. Maybe he doesn't have a Josh Allen cannon, but can make every throw with a very catchable ball. Sure, if that's what ends up happening, then sure. But I just don't see it, man. I think we're seeing in today's NFL, if you're not Pat Mahomes, it's okay, you're on a rookie deal. We put a really good team around you, and you can't do that if you don't have any of your fucking picks. So, and it's not like they have some history of drafting really good rosters. So it's not like I don't think they're going to pull a bunch of gems out of the 3rd, 4th, 5th round. So I hated it. Bears are on the come up. Who knows? You got to hit your draft picks, but they have the ammo. That's for sure.
They definitely have the ammo.
If Justin Fields sucks, you can go up and get your guy next year.
They're going to, I don't think the Panthers are going to be a playoff team. So they're going to have 2 picks in the top 18.
Yep.
Probably. So, I don't think the Bears are going to make the playoffs either.
Yeah, so I just had to give you my passionate rant on Lamar Jackson and the Panthers.
You're like, I don't know if you caught it. You're so much better off the cuff than I am. Because, I could not have gone on that kind of a rant about something I'm not really that passionate about.
I've just been thinking about it for so long, and it's just, dude, they basically, the only way they can make this point on Lamar Jackson is by leaving out another point, if that makes sense. So, you wouldn't trade 2 1s for Lamar Jackson? It's like,
I would do it in a heartbeat. The point is, he wants too much money.
Yes. It's like, dude, tell the other side of the story. And then they're like, oh, well, a guy with sexual assault got and it's like, dude, if your only point you can make is probably the worst contract in the history of the NFL, you don't have a point.
Yes.
So, sorry, blame the Browns. You're not getting that. Sorry. So,
this is he needs an agent. He needs an agent to tell him, dude, look, that is an outlier of a contract. A guy like that does not just hit the open market. It was a bidding situation, and that was the Browns' play to get him, was to just offer a fully guaranteed contract. You're not going to find that out elsewhere.
I just think it's a joke, man. Yeah. So
especially after missing 10 games the last 2 years, he hasn't played a full season since 2019.
Of course, the media won't bring that up. Nope. Not the fact that and that's his play style. It's not like freak injuries. It's like, yeah, dude, he runs and he's skinny. Like, skinny guy. He's probably going to get hurt again. Sorry.
I don't like then this becomes a fully guaranteed argument. The NFL's never going to be a fully guaranteed contract league, and it probably shouldn't. Why should I pay more money if you're going to get hurt, or the chances of getting hurt are higher, which I get the player's argument. That's why we deserve fully guaranteed, because we have a chance of getting hurt. I 100% get that. But you don't have to play the sport.
No, dude, listen, John Middlecoff said it again, not to keep quoting my boy, but he's like, this is the healthiest business out of all the American sports, and this is why, dude. Like, we're not letting the players run the league like these other fucking teams are. We're not the MLB where you can just buy every player that you want. We're not the NBA where literally the players are running the league.
Yeah.
Like, they do what they want. They demand trades when they want. They get paid what they want. Whatever. Like, that's fine. That's why I don't even really watch the NBA anymore. I think it's a lame league now.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's where we're at. And I think he overplayed his hand, and I think Lamar is going to end up back on the Ravens, personally.
He will. I don't think he gets traded. Again, 2 firsts is nothing. I think a lot of teams would offer 2 firsts, but they're all going to say, you got to come down from that fully guaranteed contract. And I'll be like, he's going to have to realize that he's not going to get that money. And the best way to do that is through an agent, not through your mom.
Yes. And this is my last point. Dude, quarterbacks almost get their whole contracts every time. You know what I mean? So it's like, dude, if they offer you, whatever, $225 over 5 years, whatever the fuck that math would be, whatever. Dude, you're probably going to get all that. Go out there and play for the Ravens for the next 5 years, and you'll get your you're not a running back, dude. They're not going to cut you 2 years in. Like, I don't know. It's just like, I just think he got really bad advice. Like, Middlecoff said again, he's getting advice from his mom. Of course she's going to say, you're the best player in the goddamn world. Get every dime you can.
I love my mother. We both love our mothers.
Yes.
I am not letting her negotiate my contract.
Hell no. So, yeah.
And I'm glad you brought up the point about Bobby Wagner. It's a totally different situation. Wagner had been in the league for a long time. He knew how the business works. He knows how negotiation works. Same with Richard Sherman. They were on their 3rd contract. They had experience in that arena. That's totally different, and they weren't going to make that much money on their 3rd contract. Lamar is leaving so much money on the table right now.
It's just a way more complicated situation, from the injuries to the fact that you play quarterback to the fact that it's so much to the fact that you want it all guaranteed, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's not the same thing. Like, dude, hire a professional person to do this for you. Like, this is what anyone does. Everyone does it. Like, you're not special, dude. Like, I think Lamar is being an absolute dumbass. And this is coming from somebody that really likes Lamar.
I like
Lamar.
His
attitude. I like the way he plays. I love it. But
I would want him on my team tomorrow.
Yes, I think he's fucking up. So, yeah.
That'll do it for this episode of today's podcast. I'm surprised we fit this in. You're having a busy week. My mom's going to be here any second. I'm just glad we could squeeze this in. We haven't talked in a while. A lot of headlines going on. And then, of course, when Aaron Rodgers basically announced his decision today, I was like, we got to talk. So. And
we'll get a mock draft episode in the next 2 weeks or so.
Oh, for sure. I want to see free agency play out real quick over the next 2 weeks. And I want to see the return Green Bay can get. But I don't think they're going to budge. I think they're going to whatever compensation they want. And I keep hearing
that. Take it or leave it.
I keep hearing the Jets have all this leverage. And the more I hear, I'm like, I don't think so, guys.
They don't have to just give him away.
No.
Like, he's under contract. Like, dude, we already paid him. We're actually going to have
He can say all he wants about how my intention is to play and to play for the Jets or whatever. But the Packers control that deal. Control the contract.
Yes.
And if they won't deal him and he's like, well, I thought we had an arrangement or whatever, it goes right back to what I said in 2021 when he through a fit or whatever. You're under contract, dude, for the next few years. It's for 4 more years. And I think Green Bay is perfectly fine, even though they want to turn the page with being like, all right, fine, we'll take the 4-time MVP back if we're not going to get the compensation that we want.
Yeah, straight up. I totally agree with you. I think the deal will get done. Do I think it'll be 2 1s? No, I think it'll be a 1 and a conditional pick that can maybe be a 1.
I could see that.
You know what I mean?
That's the most likely.
I think that's what's going on and what's holding it up right now is I think it's like they're really trying to get creative with this because they're not just going to give you straight up 2 1s, and I don't blame them.
And I don't think we will get that.
Yeah, but why not? Dig your feet in and see.
Oh, for sure. I would be like, we want 2 1s and a couple of day 2 or day 3, and it's a negotiation. That's where you start. You're not going to get it, and then you try.
Maybe a player. They might throw a player in there. So we'll see.
I don't know what kind of player. We'll see. I'm excited.
Would you do obviously this won't happen. I'll let you go after this. Sauce Gardner in a 5th round pick. Because I totally would.
That's hard to say no to.
I would do straight up Sauce Gardner for Aaron Rodgers. Swear to God.
That's hard to say no to.
You'd have the best cornerback duo in the
league. You would have Jair Alexander and Sauce Gardner on a rookie contract for 4 years.
Maybe ever.
Well, 3 years on a rookie deal plus a 5th-year option, so under contract for 4 more years. That's hard to say no to, even though I would want the picks.
Yeah.
But that's never going to happen.
No. I was just curious how you felt about it. All right, bro.
All right. I'll see you later.
Later.